All right, so today I'm gonna basically try to start working on the fender cutouts. I've already sort of started, I'll show you guys in a second, but instead of finishing off the fender, like the flare portion of it, I want to do the fender cutout, and that way whenever I gotta use this putty stuff, I can do it to all of it at once if need be. So as of right now, I'm kind of debating on how I wanna do this. I've already cut, as you can see. I was trying to cut, as little as possible. Trying to retain the factory, spot how it bolts, but I don't think that's gonna happen. With the Civic hatches of the EF chassis, I could have probably left like a, little like 1-inch portion here and then just cut out, but we don't have that because there's a molding that basically covers that, and I'm not about to cut into the molding that I already have for the other fenders. So I think I'm about at the point where I might just run this cut roughly all the way up to here. I'll end up having to fill this, but run this all the way up, and then I'll make a piece. This is obviously gonna be dangling at that point because I'm gonna cut all that off on the bottom, and then just make a strip that's this width that just kind of comes down as well. And then, grab a piece of steel here and just sort of bend it in. But obviously, like, if I use this, you can tell like this is a different height than that. This is going to be shaped. Kind of annoying. Still just spitballing ideas here. And before someone says just order the Track Life fenders, I enjoy doing things myself. As long as they look okay, right? I mean, if it looks like busted crap and someone's like, well, I did it myself. Well, fantastic. It looks like crap, If it looks okay, then great. And if you were to look like, so Osaka, if I went with Osaka wide fenders, they're like $725 or something. And then the Track Life fenders are like another $325. And I'm not saying either of them are overpriced. But yeah, we're talking like, over $1,000, and I'm nowhere near that into this. And the Track Life are pretty cool, but I don't really want to pull it back like this and have a giant gap between the door and whatnot. But let's just see. I'm gonna spitball some more here and we'll see where we go. So now I cut a 5-inch piece of L angle, and I don't really know the length of this thing. I just kind of cut it, trimmed it up, and I'm just gonna be aiming for just a little bit above where the actual bend starts. I'm gonna kind of mock this L angle up. If I go far enough back, you'll be able to see it runs into my actual trim of the car. So I'm gonna make this just flush with my side skirt here. And I'm gonna basically try to keep this angle here. So butt the bottom of it up to the L angle. And then however it lands angle-wise on the panel is how I'm gonna do it to kind of keep this rough angle going here. I'm gonna kind of mark up here, and let's tack it on. All right, so here we sit now. This is all kind of like, this whole brace here is kind of loose, but it will stiffen itself up once I start adding pieces. So as you saw, kind of the piece, I'm just gonna kind of slide that in here. Get a little bend here at the top, nothing crazy. This is gonna be filled, so I'm not stressing because nothing here on this thing is friggin' straight. So kind of like that for the most part, right? That's kind of hard to show you. Oh, it's moving. But I'm gonna make this kind of as flush as I can. There's a line down here at the bottom. Gonna get that to meet as close again as I can. This would just be, man, one of these days, it won't be for a while, but I cannot wait to have like a full-blown like shop with a brake, a shear. This cut-off wheel stuff is just, it's tiring is what it is. All right, so I figured out a plan of what I was gonna do, and I didn't record it because I just don't wanna bore you guys with that process. So I'm just gonna show you what I ended up doing, and then we'll go through the process. It's not completed. Obviously, we know we gotta do that up there. This essentially is completed. I'm gonna do a little bit of shaping around here, but not much. But here it is. So it's really ugly, I get it. There's basically like 2 or 3 tacks up here, 2 or 3 tacks here. This is tacked, piece here, and a little pine there, and I put some seam sealer on the backside. But the fender is, she's solid. That's the view from the backside. So again, I'm gonna sand down everything on the front side, make it smooth, primer it, sand all that down, throw that epoxy stuff that I got, and make everything pretty. Right, it's just a process, so it doesn't look great right now, but in the long term, it'll look good. All right, so sanding is done for now. I just sprayed some wax and grease remover. I'm just gonna kind of wipe this all over. Now again, I've never done what I'm going to do here. Kind of just listening to some advice for some other folks, my cousin being the main one, and I do trust him. So we're gonna see how this works out, but you can see where I kind of sanded through, and I'm about to touch it with my hand, but like there is still, it's pretty smooth there, but you can see like little air bubble gaps that I had. But everything, I just took 60 grit to it all, and it's all pretty on there. Nothing's coming off. So what I'm gonna do then is apply this epoxy air stuff, basically a smooth layer over this, then smooth it in. But before I do that now, because I couldn't fender roll my car, or at least fender roll the front, because it doesn't droop enough with the suspension, I had this little snazzy tool here that kind of rolls it. And I kind of already did some of it, if this will come through here. So I'm just gonna kind of grab like this, then just sort of squeeze the pliers. There you go. You should have saw it how it just kind of like rolled it up, right? I'm just gonna kind of work my way down the fender. All right, so here's this freeform air stuff, part A, part B, just like any Bondo or anything like that. Now, I already cut it, but to open it, there's lots of little like indents here, just as to slot it. I cut it with a razor blade. And I'm just gonna mix this stuff 1-to-1 ratio is what it tells you to do. And my cousin says it's kind of like Play-Doh. So let's find that out. Oh, it looks like some kind of, I don't know. So we'll just sort of, ooh, feels like a, I don't know, like a hard marshmallow. Said he told me not to probably mix more than like a softball at once. So, sure, just do that. Let's see how this goes. And then he also told me to have some water handy, because again, it's an epoxy, so it'll just absorb the water, and the water will make it a little less sticky. So, wipe that on my pants here. I mean, as of right now, that's not sticky at all. I mean, it kind of stuck to my glove a little bit, but it's not like a, yeah. And this stuff looks like, this stuff kind of stinks a little bit. Looks like some weird kind of clay. Just gonna mix it, or put it to the side of it, just for like a visual. Maybe a little bit more. This stuff is weird. I know that doesn't help you guys understand it, but. All right, just go with that. So I can just sort of just mix it. So I'm not even gonna like, just gonna, it's like marshmallow. It's weirdly soft. Probably could have got a bigger tray, but just gonna mix it till it's one uniform color. So with that being said, I'm going to change gloves at some point, but I'm just gonna kind of mist my hand there a little bit. All right, I'm gonna kind of just wet it, and you can see, right? Big, giant, gaping, nasty hole there, some little imperfections there. I'm just gonna mist it with some water and try to capture this the best that I can. Get my hands a little bit. And I guess, he did say if you do too much water, it's gonna become, this stuff is wild. If that would just cure like that. And he also claims it sands easier too than Bondo. So, I mean, I don't know about that. I'm probably way overdoing this, but I didn't water that at all. I'm gonna pack this into this hole. Or at least, okay, yeah, too much water definitely makes it like, again, he said it'll cure still. It just makes it runny. Maybe easier to work with, maybe not. I guess that kind of depends on how you look at it. Oh, wow. So like doing that, it's like okay. Mixed way too much of this shit. And that's gonna be my first preliminary assessment here. I mean, I've got a shit ton of this stuff. I might as well just start. Now it's getting sticky in my hand again. Not what I wanted to do. Let's just try this for sanding purposes, honestly. I'm gonna just, let's pack that on like that. Clean the side up. And then over this. This could be a total mistake what I'm doing right now. Or I'm a genius and I'm onto something. Well, I'm not really on anything if this works. This is all my cousin. Think I patted it down? Not really sure. Let's spray a little bit up here now. Yeah, so the water makes it like less sticky, but I think I'm putting too much. Okay, let's just try something else here. Because I don't want to have to sand all this. I mean, I don't think so. Let me grab a Bondo spreader to push it in. So I'm just going to use this to kind of like, there we go. Yeah, treat it like it is Bondo there and just push it into any of these little fiberglass air bubbles that I had. This shit is so weird. Like me just pushing on it, is that bad? Like, I say bad, like as in it's not gonna hurt anybody, but I guess what I'm saying is like all the imperfections the gloves leave, right, from the stickiness. Is that gonna like, how padded down does this stuff have to be? Because this is how easy this shit works, then I think as long as it sands like it's supposed to, man, I'll be able to contour this thing. All right. I mean, it looks ugly. I'm just throwing this stuff all over here to see if I can then shape it afterwards. Same thing like this. I just threw some globs of that stuff on there. I don't know what I'm doing here, but let's see. All right, so I got a little bit ahead of myself. I thought I recorded some stuff, but if I did, I accidentally deleted it. I've been using my phone and it is what it is. But so I'm gonna show you both Fenders now. All I've done to them is use that freeform air on them and I've sanded them. And I think the next thing I'm gonna do is use some like lightweight body filler. But just so everyone understands, this, I've got tons of comments about adding all this extra weight. If anything, the metal that I added was the extra weight. So let me just show you something here as far as how strong and how light this stuff is. So like, this was some excess that I had mixed and I didn't know what to do with it, so I just kind of made it into this. But I mean, it's hard as a rock. I made this little like, I don't know, human thing, right? There's nothing, I just kind of made this thing. It's pretty dang hard. So yeah, there's that. As far as like weight, here's the body filler I'm gonna use. That little can, I mean, it weighs, this is, I don't have a scale for you, but it weighs nothing in comparison. One of these gallons is supposed to be 1.7 pounds. So with 1.7 pounds, I've maybe used, if I'm lucky, maybe used a quarter, total of material on both Fenders. So let me just show you the Fenders now real quick. So here's what they look like right now. You can kind of see where I could have sanded a little better to get there. Right, there's a little fine. Some of it's nice and smooth. That's all me for sanding a little bit, but I mean, quick glance from the distance, it's looking pretty good. Feels pretty smooth, but there's still like, I'm trying to show you guys all of them here. Right, there's that. You get a couple little tiny imperfections there. I could probably use some spot putty on it too. There's a couple right there. Nothing actually that bad, and that probably could have been better if I was to like push that putty stuff in there some more. This came out pretty good. I got to do something about down there. Maybe I might add some more of that freeform air. Now the driver's side is a little worse than the passenger side. And when I say worse, it's just I should have spent more time sanding, right? You can see a pretty good separation. But that would be a matter of me just feathering it in, but I need some putty up there. Then you got areas like here that actually is smooth, but then right there it's not. And again, nothing super crucial. This might require a little bit skim coat of some body filler and some more light sanding here to smooth all of that out. But again, it's looking pretty good. The driver's side's the worst one, if you will. So I'm just gonna set one of these up on a sawhorse, probably the passenger side first, and throw a light skim of some body coat on it for body filler. All right, so that's a quick little clip of sanding it. I'm gonna kind of just show you guys what I actually did with the body filler. I'll take you through that and then we'll sand it. That was one coat of body filler. I think I'm gonna do a second one and hopefully that'll get me through it. So let's just take a quick gander at it from the distance. So again, ignoring the fender cutout. I got all the lights in the garage. I kind of took a flashlight to it. So it's interesting because you can see the separation from there, but like here, this is all smooth. This all feels pretty dang good. Like I'll probably just leave that, but as you get, look there, you can see it in the camera. There's like a, let's see, maybe starting like right here back. You can see the separation from here to here. Got like a little bit of a divot there. So again, this is all pretty dang good, man. That would probably definitely show once there's clear on it. And so I don't know, I'm not a bot, right? But everyone, I've gotten a couple messages saying, hey, don't forget to throw some guide coat over it and then block sand it. So I get what that means. But as far as block sanding it, I'm not sure, excuse me, exactly how to do that with this giant radius. Like I feel like if I just did the block, it would make it uneven. I don't know. So I'm kind of doing it like on a block that's like a sponge. And that's kind of working out. And there's some small sections besides this. I don't really see any. I mean, again, I will do guide coat, but I don't really see any. There's like, let's see if the camera will pick it up. There it is. There's like, there we go. There's a couple like little tiny pinholes like that right there. Those aren't a big deal to me. Those, I'm pretty sure either the filler primer will fill that up or I will just, put some spot putty on that at the end, which cures in like 2 seconds. But if you come here, that'll come out with a sand for sure. So will that. That's like nothing. And this is the spot. I need to put some spot putty there. Again, not worried about down here. I kind of messed with it a little bit, but I didn't fully sand it. I'm really just focusing on this area up here. And you can see where this needs to be smoothed out a little bit, but that's going to, again, maybe with the spot putty. I know I'm talking a lot here. And kind of the same thing with the driver fender. This one came out pretty good up here. So all feels good, all feels good. And then I'm going by feel here. Like right here, there's a small little low spot. So I could probably sand this either down to match it. But then right here's another low spot. So I think I'm just gonna throw the putty on top of it. Same thing like I'm doing over there. And then just smooth it out. And then the tops, I should be able just to finish out. And then we'll get started. You can see I kind of started a little bit more over here on these. I'm not done again. I said just screw the friggin' fender cutouts. So let me mix up some epoxy or some, some body filler. And we'll slab that on one of them. Let it start curing, slab it on the other, and we'll get to sanding. All right, so there's the slab I put on there. It's a little thick here, so I'm gonna take it with the DA with a foam pad first, just to kind of like knock off any of the high spots. Then I'll come back through here by hand and just sort of keep feeling to see if it's nice smooth. All right, so first and foremost, the smooth on freeform air stuff is amazing. I wish I heard about this a long time ago. Thank you, David. It's just super cool. It's like Play-Doh. It sands pretty easy, and it really helps like shape stuff quickly without having to do globs and globs and globs of body filler on there. So right now I'm at a stopping point for just the top halves of the fenders. So far, what we got here is, here's the passenger. I have not touched down there really. I mean, I kind of messed with it a little bit, but not much. And all I've been doing was just kind of going back and forth, feeling it. And I feel like I'm, in territory of like a motorcycle fender. It's also not bolted up. I just kind of put the corner light there for visual appearance. Feels really good. I've been chasing. I'll give you guys kind of a close up. It's not really, I think I sanded it. It's up to like 220. I'm gonna have to sand it up to like 600 before I paint it. There's no real it's not rough at all. Again, haven't smoothed it. I still haven't even actually primed it out of a gun yet. So once I throw like some high build on it or something, it'll definitely help smooth out. And same thing with the driver. Now, anywhere where I did find like little tiny pinholes, I've just kind of filled with little spot putty. I think there's one up here somewhere. I can't see it, but need a little bit of smoothing out there. But basically, I'm gonna leave these the way they are. Posted them online. A lot of people loved them. I really appreciate that because I'm definitely putting some hard work into it. Here's what a view is from the front side. And again, the fender's not bolted up, but I think it's gonna look super aggressive. And I know they're not gonna be identical, right? I'm trying, but I'm nitpicking, right? And if you didn't know that I made these, you probably wouldn't, I guess. But I feel like this one's a little bit less coming up high than this one. Again, this one doesn't come up, whoops, sorry. This one doesn't come up as high. I'll be honest with you. I don't think you'll ever notice it. I don't think you'll notice it from a front end shot. If I just try to perfect these things, I'll be chasing myself and I won't get these done. I think they're still gonna look good. Again, right, you're always gonna be your biggest critic. Let me just show you guys one more thing as far as a quick down shot. And again, these aren't fully bolted up. Fender's gotta come out like that, so it's actually gonna stick out a bit further. But yeah, so it'll end up being something like that. Kind of hard to see. And again, right now, these are 15 by 9s with 35 offset, and I've got an 8mm spacer on it. So, she's still tucked quite a bit. Just to give you guys the idea. Well, there you go. The light's kind of showing you. Man, it's crazy. Anyways, we're stoked how they're coming out. We're going to work on the fender cutouts next. So hopefully the next video I'll have the fender cutouts done and painted. I know I keep flipping it. So again, the idea, paint the whole thing, right? All the color of the car. And then I'm going to bolt this up. Basically put a tape line here, tape line here. This will be black. I'm just going to paint it with SEM trim paint. Right where it meets up here, down, SEM paint black. So it'll still be the tan color in the middle. I think that's going to be the appearance I'm going to look for if you can try to visualize it. I think that's what I'm going to go for. So I will say this. I've been tagged a ton of times too. Just want to clear some of it up. It weighs nothing. That piece that I had here weighs, I think, 52 grams when I just weighed it. That piece that I was hitting earlier weighs nothing. Track Life fenders, super nice, super cool. I didn't see that they had a complete fender until the other day, and I've already way committed at this point. And once I saw it, I'm not really into that vent they have in the back, but I love the way that they made the fender as far as you can pull it out in the back. I just didn't want that. And all in all, I'm not including paint, right? Because I have to paint those too. I'm probably going to be in this all in all for about $500. Yeah, labor, tons of labor, right? I'm not going to argue. There's a little more labor than I thought. And that's just me trying to be a little perfectionist or OCD on it, which I think you should. If you're going to give something, you might as well give it your all. But with that, I mean, I'm not going to count labor, right? I come home, I throw like an hour or two into it each day, and it is what it is. Tomorrow, probably going to take a break though, because I'm a little exhausted. I've done this for like 3 days straight. And that freeform air, I let dry for 24 hours. So I kind of like just lost the day when I did it. You know what I mean? I basically mixed it, threw it on, done for the day. But that's it for that. Anybody's got any questions, comments, how they're going? Tons of people ask me if I'm making a mold on these. I have no idea. I don't know the first thing about making a mold. My cousin David, again, thank you for the recommendation. He knows a ton of stuff about making molds. Maybe I'll contemplate the idea. I don't know. I'd hate to sell somebody something that's just not like perfect. I know it's crazy, right? But it is what it is. I don't know. We'll think about it. Main goal right now is get this thing done. And that's it. I'm just going to cut it here. So again, I appreciate everybody for watching, commenting, leave anything you got in the comments below. Message me on Instagram. Love to hear what you guys think of these things or things I could have done better. I am not a body guy, so I'm prepared to get attacked by some body guys. But as usual, I appreciate you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and hopefully she's... Where are you? Oh, I can't do this. This phone thing's freaking me out. Aha! Hopefully she's nice and pretty and painted.